By way of apology, I'd like to note that this is the first time anybody's ever asked me to sing while sober, and I'm not sure that I can do it. I don't even remember which end of this thing you blow through to make it work. So, here's a song called The Ballad of Stan Long. Say what? I've drunk his health in 100 bars, from Beetlejuice to the sands of Mars, and I'll drink his health again if you'll just buy. I knew Stan Long for 20 years, that's just about 100,000 beers, and I'll tell you his sad story if you promise not to cry. I first met Stan on the white-hot sands of Perrin's world, where murderous bands of aliens tried to kill us all with blaster, sword, and shield. We fought back-to-back for 7 days, fought steel with steel and rays with rays, till the Corps came in on the 7th day and made the aliens yield. There. Now, Perrin's world is a terrible place where they put all the dregs of the human race, but it's a place where you can get yourself a girl or a boy or a drink. So Stan and I retired that day to a cool, dark dive on the side of a bay of sulfurous water colored one unnatural shade of pink. We sat down to drink some beer, drank all of it, and then I fear drank all the wine, the scotch, the gin, the rum, tequila too. The world was in an awful whirl when I said, Stan, I need a girl. Stan poured a glass of cream de menthe and said, well, I'll take two. Stan Long, he was a man, he was a mighty drinking man, but drinking wasn't really his forte. He loved 100 girls on a dozen different worlds, and he loved them in a most peculiar way. Stan, good Lord. I looked at him in wild surmise, tried to focus bleary eyes, and told him, Stanley, stop a minute, think of where we are. These girls are built like sides of beef, all muscle, bone, and claws and teeth. There are 3 of them just walked in over there. When they get through with you, there'll be some moaning at the bar. Well, Stan just laughed and drank some green and told me, Joe, you think you've seen about all there is to see in terms of sexual relations. But I'll take me 2 Perrin chicks, I'll take them and I'll get my kicks, and they'll pay me for my peregrinations. I shook my head and watched him go, and got myself a gal named Mo, who seemed about the gentlest of that not-too-gentle lot. But her biceps were the size of either of my thighs, and the strongest muscles on her, those were not. That's the clean verse. You can supply your own verse if you want. Spent a week or 2 in traction, then went out to get some action, because I'd heard a tank ship land with beer and booze. I went back to that sleazy dive, didn't expect to see Stan alive. To shack up with 2 Perrin chicks is not the fate I'd choose. I walked into that sad cafe, feeling guilty, sad to say, for letting poor old Stanley take those 2 girls off to die. But there he sat in the middle of the floor, surrounded by those he-man whores who gazed at him with love light in their rheumy, bloodshot eyes. Stan Long, he was a man, he was a mighty fightin' man, but fightin' wasn't really his forte. He loved 100 girls on a dozen different worlds, and he loved them in a most peculiar way. Stan, I said, I know you're tough. We fought and bled and killed enough together now that you won't mind if I express my thought. The least of this unholy crew put me in bed, in traction too. I just can't help but wonder what you have that I ain't got. It's really easy to explain, said Stan, who felt no whit of pain. But let me wait and tell you when I think the time is right. Reactions from my fellow men when I explain what makes me win lead some to laugh and some to cry, and some it leads to fight. You might belong to that latter bunch, although you don't, I have a hunch. So first I'd like to have a chance to even up our scores. See, I've been drinking steadily since after midnight, 2 or 3. You owe me 20 beers. Drink up. Don't pay. It's on the whores. Well, the women brought me 20 beers and favored me with lurid leers. As soon as I would drink one down, they'd put one in my fist. By the 17th or 18th, I was slightly higher than the sky, but knew that sooner or late I'd have to go and take a word that the FCC won't let us say here. Piss, okay? See, spacermen have a tradition that no matter your condition, it's the first poor boy who leaves the bars, the one who buys the round. So, though the whores were buying it, tradition is tradition, shit. I'd cross my teeth and grit my legs and never give up ground. Is that right? Stan noticed my discomfort, and he ordered me a rum for it, which I sent onto my kidneys with a pagan hopeful prayer. Then he laughed and said, "All right, I don't think you're fit to fight. I'll walk you to the outhouse, arm in arm. It's only fair." Now the atmosphere on Perrin's world's enough to rot your teeth, so the stench inside the outhouse was a positive relief. They had 3 piss tubes in the wall so as not to slow the crew. I took the first one on the left, and Stan took the other 2. Stan Long, he was a man, he was a mighty lovin' man, and lovin's what he really loved to do. He was doubly endowed, but that's not what made him proud. In fact, that extra organ made him blue. He noticed I was staring and remarked of his bipartite gland, 2 heads are better than 1 is what the ancient sages say. But put yourself in my position, empathize with my condition. I'd rather have the love of one good woman any day. Well, Stan and I, we roamed the stars, fighting wars and wrecking bars. For 20 good long years, we blazed a rough and randy trail. And if police we underrated, we might sleep incarcerated, but like as not 3 ladies would come by and meet our bail. The ending to this story is a moral in a poor way, that 2 + 2 can equal 1 or 4 or even 8. 8. And if 1,000,000 women come through your life, you'll find the one just made for you. That's love, that's luck, or if you choose, that's fate. See, we were busting up this carnival on I.O. and Stan spied a gal with lovely hair, arms and eyes, 4 legs and other charms. He went and asked the obvious. She answered yes, and that poor cuss just fell apart. He laughed, he cried, he swept her in his arms. They were married in December by a drunken priest named Captain Bly and settled down to work upon a yeast farm in Des Moines. Now Iowa is kind of dull. You seen one yeast, you seen them all. So by July, a pair of twins had sprang from out their loins. Rhymes with Moines. Now, much to his surprise, Stan found he liked the little guys, and round about July the next year, they came up with another pair. Then another pair next May, and then Stanley, sad to say, had to get vasectomized. The law on earth is stern but fair. Now every time I condescend to go to earth, I see my friend all up to his ass in diapers or putting girls and boys through school. Yeah, the girls all have 2 legs, the boys half that many pegs. Such unstable mutations never follow Mendel's rules. And Stan still likes to fight and drink, but he doesn't do it much, I think, not just because the bars in Iowa close down at 9. He's got responsibilities and even feels quite ill at ease when I regale his kids with tales about their father's time. Stan Long, he was a man, he was a mighty loving man, but he settled in a quiet country place. 7 bedrooms well appointed, and not mentioning Des Moines, it has a bathroom that's unique in all of space.
But the other one.